Hi. Okay, so we're ready to start this. We've been in Renwick for a couple days now, and we're gonna get the ball rolling. It's about
We're ready to go.
quarter to
3
10.
hairs past 2. Oh, sorry.
That's nice wearing watch. So yeah, we're gonna get the ball rolling here. A few things for tonight. We're gonna spend a little bit of time doing that stereotypical isolation stuff. So I'll be spending some time up in the church bell tower, and I'll be trying to get a hold of William Renwick Sr. Going to be utilizing a little bit of trigger object there. And where are you headed?
I'm going to head to 3rd floor, I think. I've always had really good luck out in kind of the sitting area of 3rd floor. So we're going to try that for mine.
Sounds like we had ourselves a plan. So, before we do anything else, we got to set a little mood lighting. Before that,
because ghosts don't come out unless it's dark, right?
Oh yeah, no, they sold it. That's where they sold it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we got the arsenal ready, and we actually got a new toy.
Now they're going to think
with.
we really think that.
We don't actually think that. No, we don't think that. But we do have a new toy to play with. We are getting out we downloaded Phasma today, and that's pretty cool. And it's going to be kind of a fun little play with a new ITC device.
Yeah, we've heard some things about it. Neither one of us have really had a chance to try it out much, so this will be our first experience with it. We'll weigh on in it after we've had some chance to use it better.
All right, well, let's make it dark in here.
Alrighty, let's go. William Renwick was born on June 24, 1829 in Liverpool, England. In 1846, he moved to the United States along with his family. William and his father started their first lumber mill on the shores of the Mississippi River in 1854, not very far from where the current Renwick Mansion stands today.
Now, shortly before the mansion's construction in 1877, William Renwick's first wife passed away. A few years later, he ended up marrying a Helen Goodwin, and after that, they spent a fair amount of the time just traveling the world together, which led to their first and only son, William Renwick Jr., being born. After about a decade or so of them being married, William Renwick Sr. passed away, leaving Helen widowed. She and young Bill spent the better part of a decade, 11 years, living here in the mansion until they ended up moving out to California in 1890.
So if we're going to stand over here, then do we want the table behind us where they can see those if they go off?
Yeah, I was actually...
Or maybe in front of us? Or?
I was thinking about taking that to... Actually, I was going to put it on the mantle because that camera's also got to be on us.
Okay. Either way, I just didn't know. They're not going to see it unless it's like here.
Oh, they'll see it.
Okay.
Which means they'll see it.
Well,
hi, everybody.
They'll see it later. Hey, guys.
Actually, we'll do a little toy introduction first. So, we're talking about playing with toys. Where are we? Where are you? There she is. There she is. So we're talking about playing with toys, and we're not even telling you what toys we're playing with. How rude is that? So, what we have here is a REM pod. And we already have a little bit of a setup going. What we have so far is a static camera and recorder. I'm gonna stab you in the eye with an antenna.
Yeah, I was
Static camera recorder in the other room with a pointed at a ghost ball. And now we're going to have a REM pod sitting on the mantelpiece, and the idea is that we are going to hopefully get a little interaction with this. We also wanted you guys to be with us live for the first use of our Phasma box.
Absolutely.
We got Phasma box.
I did. Yeah, so we have been setting things up for a little while for anybody who is tuning in. I don't know for sure what he even put on the tag because I haven't looked at it yet, but we are at the Renwick Mansion again tonight, and that's in Davenport, Iowa. It is a beautiful limestone mansion that's at the top of the hill overlooking the Mississippi River. It's gorgeous. It's so much fun. So yeah, that's where we're at tonight. We were here last night and did some live for anybody who didn't get a chance to see that. And now
We'll do a couple throughout the night.
as you guys saw last night, if you were watching, we did have Mama Pat and my daughter Madeline here with us, but tonight it is just Chris and I. We are the only two that are in the building. Just some information about the building. Like I said, we're at the top of the hill. There's not really any houses close around us. There shouldn't be a ton of traffic noise unless a super loud car goes on the road that's about half a block away.
We've noticed there's a few D-bags with loud bikes
Yeah.
that happen on occasion, but...
Yeah, if someone
that's
goes
not
by with a loud motorcycle, you can hear that. But we'll take it if we hear something. But yeah, for the most part, it's a pretty quiet location, and we're locked in. It's just the two of us.
So yeah, we're going to be playing with Phasma box a little bit tonight. And I know the lighting's not good, and I think this is going to be kind of a cool feature. We mentioned we're working on some documentary type stuff. And you guys in the Facebook Live are actually going to be a part of that process.
Absolutely.
So you'll get us tonight, both here. We'll do a kind of a brief first session down here, introduce you guys to Phasma box while we're learning about Phasma box, which is always great. And then at any point in the night, Kelly will be by herself, and then I will be by myself, or the other order, doesn't matter.
Isolations, yeah.
And we'll bring you guys along with us for that. So
That's the plan, anyways.
we'll be alone physically, but not in spirit, because you guys will be with us during our kind of isolation process.
Yeah, and just to give some shout out on that, we have Stephanie and Kim and Darren, Matt, Dana, Amy Bing, all in there already. So appreciate you guys tuning in right away and showing some support.
Cool. So, so far, it's been a very cool time here at Renwick. Knocks, pops, clicks, all the good stuff. The occasion I got whistled at today, so that's exciting. And we had some luck with ITC devices, so we figured breaking out a new one, this is a good time for that.
Hey everybody.
Hey everybody.
I'm gonna set it down. Okay, cool. So, you guys know us. It's Kelly, it's Chris. We've been here a couple days now.
Yeah. I thought I heard you say your name. Can you say your name again, please?
We're helping you.
And the voices that come through here are a bit creepier. So we've been here a couple days, guys, and we've used devices like this, and hopefully you're figuring out how to use this one. But you've also been kind of communicating with us through noises that you're making. You're banging on stuff, you're whistling. So at any point, feel free to do any of that too, okay?
This will work the same as the other devices that we've used. You just have to talk near us, near the box, or just think about putting your voice through there. And it should work where we can hear you guys.
And honestly, I'm kind of digging this one for its downtime.
Yeah.
Other times it almost feels like you can't get a word in edgewise. Or if this one there's downtime, like I feel like I can actually like talk, but then it's hard because the stuff that comes out, it's actually stuff you want to listen to. So I think you get the idea what we're trying to do here tonight. We're trying to interact with you. Can you come say hello through this device?
Hello?
Hello. I said I'm something.
It almost sounded like you said, I'm Polly, but I'm not sure who that would be.
I like this.
Who just said hello to us, please? Can you introduce yourself? William? So not to seem rude, but there were 3 Williams.
Yeah.
Can you narrow down for us? Which William are you, please? Senior? Now, I don't know if you guys refer to yourself as senior, junior, and I call him Little William. Did you refer to yourself as William Senior?
Or would it have been William the First?
Original? You referred to yourself as the original, huh?
You kept telling me he didn't have a sense of humor.
Not that he doesn't have a sense of humor, it's just a little more dry. William, are you still here with us?
I almost sound like you said I am still.
William, we've been here all weekend admiring your beautiful home. Can you tell us what your favorite part of the house was?
I'm sorry.
Hi.
Hi.
You know, we were. What?
In a worse way. You are here? Who are you?
Buongiorno.
Buongiorno. That's all I'm going to understand. If you say anything more, I'm not going to understand it.
I was gonna say my Italian is awful.
Yeah.
If you're speaking it, I mean, we had pizza for dinner.
I don't think that makes us Italian.
I mean, if you spoke Italian to us, Grazie, but we primarily speak English.
Type of.
Well, that was an interesting sound.
Yeah, it sounds like it's almost weird, kind of like laughing.
You take that down.
Take that down.
Look at that.
Lip seal.
Do you not like the camera being on the bureau?
You wanted to. Still live here?
They still live
Live here.
here? Who still lives here?
It's
I'm sorry, who?
And if you don't want to interact with us, you don't want to interact with this weird sound maker. I set a ball in the other room. Can you go push that along? Can you maybe try to push it to this room here?
fantastic.
Right here.
I keep thinking I hear people.
I'm gonna go check. I'm gonna go check it out.
You know, people.
I hear
People.
people.
Is that you that we're hearing?
Isn't us. Where are the people that we're hearing? Where are the people? Just said they're eating now.
You know, it'd be really weird if the neighbors were just kind of packing up now.
I don't see anybody still out in the yard, and I can't tell the cars because of the leaves. They were saying online they thought they heard footsteps right about the time we turned around.
Which is cool because we got a recording for the.
If we go and we sit in other parts of the mansion, are you going to come with us? You're more than welcome to join us.
Or do you think we should go next?
Maybe. Whisper. Uncut. I want to be in.
Okay, I'm starting to like hear things. I swear to God, I just heard a baby crying. Well, I'd say maybe we wrap this one up.
Yeah, maybe.
We'll jump off live for a little bit, do some investigating. We'll come back later though.
Oh yeah, the next time you see us, be alone. Oh jeez. Oh shit. Oh shit. It's about to get dark. Do this for creepy effects. So thank you guys. And I'll see y'all a little bit later. Aha! Look, yes! Sorry. I realize my language is probably not appreciated here.
Okay, let's think for a minute. Hang on.
See, what the thing is this thing reads static. Sorry.
I'm giving it just a
Is
second.
that you? Sorry, did not mean to get excited, but she said I would jump like a little girl. Hang on. Turn it off. And back on again.
Come here. You cry right there.
Why?
Sorry, but I had to check. I don't know why that's doing that.
And again, science ruined something cool. And off to the library we go. So, we're going to be doing an oldie but a goodie. Once we get in the library, we're going to be doing the classic EVP session. Alright, so what we're doing now is I'm going to kind of hang out here in the library by myself. Not quite to the isolation part because Kelly's still on the same floor as me. But she's going around and she's going to be taking pictures. Like you just heard. So, you've had people in here doing something like this similar before. So, if you like, you can come sit next to me. Set a chair out for you. And you can talk into this little orange light right here. And I'm not able to hear you right now, but this device can.
There's a different feel in here tonight than there was last night.
That's a...
You know how you said at different times it's weird walking around on the different floors if you're all by yourself?
Mm-hmm.
Last night I was down here walking and I'd go into the different rooms by myself and I was fine, but like you noticed I wasn't gone very long.
Mm-hmm.
It's not as comfortable out there by myself. It's not at all like I feel like I'm in danger. I've never felt like I
It's
was
just
in danger
creepy.
here. Well, yeah, and it's...
And I almost wonder if that's not just our sensitivity, like a natural sensitivity to the energy, like...
It's just knowing there's somebody else there.
Yeah.
And that's, yeah, and because I'm not scared of this building. I mean, you know that I've stayed here by myself, but it's weird to think there's somebody standing behind you.
I'm gonna move this a bit closer to you. I'm wondering if you can talk into that little orange light just so that it can hear you. There's this curious thing, I can't hear you, see you.
Bill was built more like you, where he was bigger through the shoulders and the chest and a little bit narrower in the waist. Mr. Renwick, he's pretty square, but he's still not tiny.
No, I'm not saying this guy's tiny. When I say like, I basically mean he's like the same width all the way down.
Mr. Renwick is, pretty much.
Like if you're talking actual width, I'd say maybe a little bit smaller than me in the shoulders, but like the same all the way down.
Maybe then. Which is weird that he wouldn't let me know if he's sitting. He does all the time. And this has always been interesting to me, is how when there's two people who have senses like this, one will know and the other doesn't, you know, and you can be sitting in the same room. Mr. Renwick, your son just said that I offended you somehow. I'm not sure what I did. I'm sure it's a very strong probability that I did. But if there is something that I did that didn't sit well with you or that offended you, if you can let me know, I'd really appreciate that. I know you and I had a conversation about making sure that your family name was respected and that we have always treated the mansion with respect, so I will apologize up front and ask you to please communicate with me at some point tonight and let me know what I did or how I can make that up. Hear that?
Mm-hmm.
That's a car.
Yeah, so that was. I mean, a couple of those thuds were like round up, like I felt them in my seat.
I felt it, yeah. I felt one in my feet.
I've noticed this how you've been kind of communicating this weekend. If that's what you prefer, go ahead and knock on something for us if you wouldn't mind. It's high pitched. It almost sounded like a door jam squeaking.
I couldn't tell what it was, but yeah, it was higher pitched.
So if you're doing something with the doors, opening and closing them, could you do it with enough force that maybe we could hear it? So instead of just kind of creaking a door, is there any way you could slam it? I mean, if you were slamming the door to the library here, that'd be pretty cool.
We don't slam doors.
Fair?
If you could very obviously close a door, that would be appreciated. I'm going to take that as him talking to me because I want him to talk to me again. I think it was directed at the room, but I'm going to take it as a win.
So the building we'll be investigating tonight finished construction in around 1877. It was an Italian-style villa, the most notable feature being the cupola or church bell tower, which is where I'm at right now. And Renwick kind of utilized this to keep an eye on his mill company, which worked right off the Mississippi River, which is the place directly behind me. I don't know how I'm maintaining this kind of excitement. It's 11:30. It's past my bedtime. We got a whole freaking night ahead
Got a
of
lot
us.
to do still.
So, you guys are tuning in for my isolation.
Do 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 do.
It's gonna be a good time. So, we've kind of decided I
Flipping a coin.
am going up. We flipped a coin. Okay, so she always tries to get me to flip a coin, and she does this she wins, tails I lose thing, and it seems fair, but I always end up like losing.
I don't know how that works.
It's horrible.
Do you want to try it one more time, though,
Yes.
just in case?
Okay, let's do this.
So, just to be clear, heads I win, tails you lose.
Let's do it.
You're gonna catch?
Yep. Nope. It's tails.
I win. Tails you lose.
See? It's bullshit.
So, since I win, you go first.
All right,
If you
so
live through it, I'll give it a try.
we're doing the isolation bit of this investigation. I'm going all the way up to the. I keep wanting to call it a crow's nest, but I know that's not proper. It's on that's on a ship. So it's the tower. I'm heading up to the tower, and to make this extra exciting, to make this extra extreme, I will be locked inside from the inside. I am, however, going to keep that door shut to keep any outside noise out. So, my isolation is going to be up here, and it's no coincidence I chose this place. So, a little bit of the back information. This tower was built, and I'll have to kill the lights so you guys can see, because it is actually very pretty. But before we do that, I'm gonna start rolling. So we'll remove this light. So we're recording in the tower, and I'm looking at you guys, not you guys. See how I did that? Gotta look at everybody. So this is just gonna be a static camera that will be sitting on me. But yeah, I gotta show you guys this view. It is so pretty, and I'm hoping it's not quite doing justice, but it is a very pretty view. And yeah, I thought this was a good location for me specifically, because this is where William Renwick would essentially spend his time watching his mill company. So I'm gonna sit up here. I got a couple things that I'm gonna try out up here to try to make a connection with Mr. Renwick. The first thing I will be using for your viewing pleasure, I will be using Spiritus, which we'll get to eventually. I'm also going to be utilizing trigger objects up here. So it was said that when William Renwick would come up here to kind of have his personal time, that he'd sit up here, he would have a cigar, which I can't do because you can't smoke inside, and he would also have himself a drink. So, because I'm trying to be a good guest, I have a bottle of scotch. And we're going to just kind of sit here and hopefully make a gentlemanly connection over the thing that unites people more than anything: booze.
Okay. So while he's doing that, I thought we would maybe do a little bit of pendulum and see if they'd communicate with us through the pendulums. So I've done intuitive retreats here before, so I know that we have done pendulum work, and so it's not the first time that the spirits of the mansion would have seen or used a pendulum, but just to kind of remind everybody how this works, I'm going to hold my hand as still as possible, And typically what we get from a pendulum is a yes or no answer. And I'm talking very quiet simply because Chris is upstairs in the tower and I don't want to distract him. So. Try to start as still as possible. Can you show me yes, please? Thank you. And can you show me no, please? Thank you.
So, I guess this is how we begin. So, huge disclaimer, I do not condone drinking on investigations, but when in Rome, you do like a half shot in a sign of solidarity. And also when in doubt, go with the second cheapest scotch, because even that's a little... Hi. Hello. So I feel like we've probably been introduced at some point. During my time here. But my name's Chris. And I was hoping you would just kind of come here and tell me a story. It sounds like you've led a very, very interesting life. And I was wondering if you could just tell me about it. Yeah, sit. By all means, sit with me here. I've got a drink poured for you here. And that device that's sitting next to me, it'll be able to basically understand better than I would if you're here. It'll light up.
Did you live? Oh, that was weird because I had not yet asked my next question. Just a comment that since I pulled the pendulum out to start using it, the energy, it's just spinning in a circle right now. I don't want to say that the energy has shifted because it's not necessarily that anything has changed drastically, but it definitely has intensified. This is interesting, that it's just spinning.
So, Mr. Renwick, I was wondering if you couldn't do me a favor and say through this device here, can you give us your last name? Like I mentioned, this device, it's just making a bunch of nonsense right now. Could you make a bit of sense out of that nonsense with your last name? Do you mind that I'm up here? And if you don't like that I'm up here, can you find a way to let me know? Either tell me through this device or... I mean, I brought you up a scotch. I mean, just knock that over. Knock on a window or something. And this is the interactive part of the documentary. So if you guys in chat have any questions that you might have for Mr. Renwick, by all means, toss them. Yeah, so I guess this is probably strange for you. Yes, my name is Chris. And over there is a camera. And I'm sure you're familiar with the concept. This, what I'm holding right here, actually has me connected with a bunch of people right now. They can see me, and they can hear me, and they can kind of reply to the things I say just like you do.
Did you use a pendulum when you were alive? Sorry, my hand is moving just a little bit, but it's because of how strongly this is swinging. So you used a pendulum when you were alive. That's very interesting. I would have guessed in your day the use of a pendulum or anything metaphysical or considered maybe occult was not very well received. Would your brother have approved of you using a pendulum? Yeah. There's a couple knocks out of the room behind me.
I'll tell you what, if you let me know what your favorite kind of liquor was, I will spare no expense. And the next time I come here, I will find the most expensive bottle of that particular type of liquor that I can. Sound good? But I need it to be very clear. We'll make it we'll make it like a gentleman's wager. So if you can say this extremely clearly, the more clearly that you can state your favorite kind of liquor, the more expensive of the bottle I'll get. Was it scotch? Cheers. Was it rum? Could you do me a favor? So I'm pretty sure Kelly is on the floor below me. Could you maybe go behind her and just knock on the wall really hard?
I swear I keep hearing things. I turned the volume down because I thought I was hearing something again.
So what I'm doing is I'm up here and I'm just trying to kind of have a conversation with them. It's been a little on the quiet side, despite the fact that I brought Okay, so that's as close as you guys could get to a K2 meter without setting it off. So I think my time with you is kind of coming to an end here, William. Is it okay if I call you William? Is there any last bit you'd like to tell me? Alright, well, just because I'm leaving the tower here doesn't mean that the night's coming to an end. We're gonna still try to communicate with you as best we can. So, by all means, try with us a little bit later. And while I have this kind of us time here, I just want to let you know you have a beautiful home. And I want to thank you for your time. Alright, so we'll turn off Spiritus here. And just so you guys can, oof, that's bright, get kind of a, straighten it out a bit. Another look, because I showed at the beginning of the live stream, that's bright. Yeah, this was Mr. Renwick's view, and I'm sure there's a little bit of a glare because you're looking through glass. But yeah, he would just sit up here, enjoy his drinks, and just kind of watch it. I see the appeal.
Now, an interesting piece of information about this land is that in 1901, there was a fire that engulfed a large portion of the Davenport area. It even took down the original lumber mill that was built on the Mississippi River by the Renwick family. However, the mansion was spared. This is believed to be partially because in 1835, this plot of land was blessed. It was blessed not to protect it from fires, but actually to protect it from a different type of plague that was hitting the area: tornadoes.
Holy crap. You're live.
I am.
Oh my god. All right. I'm gonna leave her alone to the scary third floor. Good luck.
He's so mean. Leaves me alone in spooky buildings.
I'm gonna make worse.
So now you really are mean. All right, you need to at least be close enough that if I scream, you can hear me. He's so mean.
I'll leave door cracks. Crack work.
He gets the cool tower that doesn't have any doors that creepy crawly things can come out of, and I get the creepy third floor.
And now I get the camera Kelly hit. So, I know when I was doing my isolation, Kelly was playing with pendulums. I'm gonna get a snack.
This is my isolation here on the third floor, and we're gonna go ahead and figure out just kind of how we want to do this. So we actually just got done, as you guys were watching on Facebook. Chris was just upstairs doing his isolation, and while he was doing that, I was sitting here on the third floor trying to just be quiet, but I brought my pendulum with me, and I thought, well, we'll just do a little chatting with anyone who might want to talk to us. And it was very interesting. I was getting some pretty strong responses. So I thought I'd go ahead and I'd try using my pendulum a little bit here, and I've actually done a intuitive retreat from here at Renwick before, so I knew that this wasn't the first time that they actually had experienced pendulums or people using pendulums, but I still kind of explained to them how to use it again, and I started getting answers pretty immediately, and some really strong answers actually. So I thought it would be kind of fun to just do a little bit of that, partially because I was getting just such strong answers that I'm hoping that we'll get those same answers again. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to try to hold this. So we're doing some filming tonight, so I've got you guys here live. I've got a camera over here as well, so I'm going to try to keep it where both cameras can see it.
But yeah, Kelly mentioned something that resonated with me a little bit. Ooh. Energy. It kind of resonated with me. It just feels a little bit different here tonight. It's not scary. It's not mean or oppressive. It's just different. Like, it's the same energy, like in flavor, so to speak, but the actual like intensity of it's just kind of gone up a little bit.
Cameras can see it. Don't mind me. I'm gonna turn that around. So hopefully it can be seen by both, which means I'm gonna have to hold it pretty still. So it looks like you guys can see it. And I'm going to do my best to hold my arm still, but we're going to go ahead and see if we can't get some answers again out of this. So, all right, so we were doing this just a little bit ago. Are you still here with me right now? Really hope that noise was Chris. So I didn't start out asking this time what is my yes and what is my no. Only because I had already done that. So just so everybody's watching, this is the yes that we had established previously. And it's almost always what I get for a yes. So thank you. I'm glad to see that you're still here with me. Is this the same person that I was talking to a little bit earlier? Yes. All right. So I just want to ask some questions, and I know I just got done asking you these questions, but now we've actually got some extra people who are watching us. We've got a bunch of people here online watching us. So I'm going to repeat some of my questions, so I apologize for that, but I hope you'll humor me and answer these questions again. And yes, I know the answers, but some repeated questions, just full disclosure, I've already asked these questions, but I want you guys to be able to see the answers. So can you tell me, are you a male? Okay, so that side to side, that's the no. Thank you. Just then to clarify, you are female? Yes, thank you. And this was where it got interesting, and I'm going to ask these same questions again. Is your name Renwick? No. And I got a little confused by that because I'm like, for the most part, the family that lived here was Renwick. So where did that come from? And then this is the interesting part of, sorry, we're going to put the pendulum down for a minute. This is the interesting part about how my abilities work. Even though that she's answering through the pendulum and giving us that visual answer, I can still hear her. She's still answering, and I still get the answer psychically like I do normally when I'm speaking to a spirit. She just then also answers the pendulum. So it was interesting to me when she said that her last name was not Renwick, because at this point I already knew who I was talking to. So so just to clarify, your last name is is not Renwick. Is that correct? Yes. Were you born as a Renwick? Yes. But when you lived at the house, when you lived here at the mansion, was your last name Renwick then? No. So based on the history that I knew and information that I had gotten in the past, I was fairly positive that I was talking to a certain individual who lived here. So my next question is, and it's interesting because she knows the question I'm going to ask and it switched its answer already. Are you William Renwick's sister? There's so much energy behind these answers that the pendulum is bouncing like a swing. With as strong as this, I'm not going to repeat all the questions I asked her, but throughout the course of the questions, I was asking her if she was familiar with the pendulum, and she said yes. And I asked her if she had ever used a pendulum herself, and she said yes, that she was very interested in these sort of things, and she actually owned her own pendulum, and that her brother William would not have been fond of that, but that he did know that she was interested in stuff like that. So when she's here answering the questions, the energy of the room shifts. And I'm not usually a big one on, ooh, there's a spirit in the room, it's gotten cold, the energy's crazy. But there's something about her. She's got an awful lot of energy, and it does. I was telling Chris when he came back from his isolation, it intensifies when she's here. And right now, it feels like all the hairs on my arms are standing up and I'm chilly. But I sent her on a task to try to go tell Chris something while he was doing his isolation. And when she left to go tell him, that energy shifted again and it calmed down and I was warm again. So anyways, she's very interesting.
No, first I put down here a bit. If you want some mango, help yourself. It's good.
She's saying that she had a lot of time to read books and she loved reading books, and that she wasn't necessarily supposed to, but that she read a lot of books on the subject of she keeps calling it the occult. And I know in our day and age, the occult isn't necessarily looked at the same way, but you have to remember, when she was alive, anything that was paranormal would have probably been considered the occult. So, she's saying that, but that she read a lot. She read a lot about it, and her family didn't know much at all about it. Yeah. Okay, so I thought too, while we're up here doing this isolation, we'll do just a little bit here of just a normal EVP, because the other thing that was happening while I was sitting here by myself earlier when Chris was doing his isolation is we were just getting a lot of noises. And as I say that, there's some clicking coming from over that direction. We're gonna do just a little bit of the Phasma box again because I was kind of fascinated by it downstairs. Let's see what we get.
I'm being sneaky. I've got my mangoes. Or I'm giving them the last mango. Just ever so precariously perched. So that if anybody comes for the mango, it's gonna tip the box over. This is my experiment for the night.
Hi. My name is Kelly, that's right. Can you tell me what your name is? I'm sorry, what was your name? Can you guys hear this okay? I can hear some footsteps. Can't tell exactly from where though. They're from where?
So I've got my mango experiment going. While that's happening, I've got another snack. Cashews, a little bit of cheese. This is a truly dangerous investigation for me because prior to this, that pizza, I'm also a little bit lactose intolerant.
Are you able?
Much like
A flashlight? I do have a lot of lights on me right now, considering I'm sitting up here in the dark. Can you tell me what year you came to the mansion?
that particular.
Not particularly, is that what you said? Chris, if you want to head back up in like 3 to 4 minutes, that'll be about the half-hour mark anyways. I'll bring this in a little closer, see if you guys can see. My selfie light is dimming, so you guys are getting to not see quite so much. Wild Bill, you've been really quiet tonight. Where have you been? Are you here? Wild Bill, can you come say hello to your adoring fans, please?
Listen, yes.
Well, give me a chill, listen.
I've been very good at that. I don't have to get my thumbs so much bigger. Do that. Chip nail. I tried slicing my thumb off making salsa the other day. Ooh. So she's got the red light flashlight on. That's a cool effect. Oh. Looks like it's time for me to go say hello to everybody.
So for accessibility.
That's sensible? Is that what you just said? Sensible that I turned on another light? This one's kind of... This light's red and makes me look all sorts of creepy, doesn't it? Are you laughing at me? So we're gonna wrap this one up pretty soon, and we're gonna go to a different location. Where should we go to next? I believe we have a Chris coming in the steps. Chris? Okay, if that's him that came up the stairs and is creepily standing outside the door, I'm gonna kill him. If it wasn't him.
Surprise!
If it wasn't him. Such a pain.
I don't know what you've been doing up here, but I have solved all the issues of the universe.
Have ya?
I have.
Well, that's good.
I've been doing nothing but productive stuff.
Sure. So you took a nap?
Got a snack.
Oh! As long as we're doing something fun and exciting.
Treat.
Treat.
Treat. So yeah. That's isolation. I don't know that I got a ton out of mine.
Yeah.
Got a few
Same.
answers. The pendulum, I mean, she went right back to answering. I don't know if you were watching her in that part, but
I was at least visually watching most of it.
it was harder because I was trying to hold it up where both cameras could see it, so it was a whole lot harder for me to hold my hand still as it was going. So harder for them to see that it wasn't me spinning it, but she has a ton of energy. But I mean, even like right now, she's not here answering, and the energy is different. The hairs aren't standing up on my arm, and it's just different, definitely.
So yeah, that's all you mooches get out tonight. And by mooches, I mean lovely people.
I tell you, I love you guys.
I'm in a weird mood. Giddy.
Okay then.
Mwah.
All right, thanks for tuning in, guys. We love you. Now, being the only son of a wealthy lumber baron, William Jr. led a life of privilege. He soon became known as Wild Bill, partially due to his penchant for fast cars and antique armor and weapons. After graduating from Harvard, he met his wife Mary, and together they had a son that they also named William Meade Renwick. Unfortunately, in 1933, he died at the age of 13. Historical records give no information as far as what little Bill passed away from, And unfortunately, that is where the Renwick family line ended.
Okay, so we're in Renwick. It's about 1:40 in the morning. We're pretty tired. This is the lazy point of the night where genius strikes. Come here. Come here and look at the genius.
Can I put my straightener down first?
Put your straightener down first. She's gonna see some genius. So, we have a hallway of obstacles here. The entire time we've been here, what's the main type of activity then?
Noises, bumps, thumps.
Noises, bumps, thumps. Basically, activity occurring somewhere outside of where we're at. So, the idea is, as we make our way down the hallway here, they can pass by a REM pod.
They're gonna jump from that and go, oh my God, and run into the table as they go.
Yes, to the cat toy. And I have a very precariously perched candle here. All of these things are light-based, so with lights out, they're gonna become very obvious. So ideally, you're gonna see some shit.
Or it's gonna be a black screen.
Let's kill the lights.
We're gonna go with you're gonna see some shit.
Ooh. So, camera in the bed.
So,
Where's this going?
it's gonna
Straight to the Phasma box.
go to Phasma Butts and complete appropriateness.
All right. All right. So, to this point in the night, we've had a little bit of luck with the
I'm
fast
tired.
box. We've hit the sleepy point of the night. So, we're trying to cover as much of the second floor in one shot as we can. So right now, we are in room 2, where you had some experiences prior to this, right?
I actually did, yeah. So one of the nights that, well, actually I've had a couple experiences on second floor, but for this room particularly, it happened to be a night that I was staying in the mansion all by myself. I needed to be in Davenport super early the next day. And so I asked the owners if I could just stay here, and they said, of course. And so I was in the mansion completely alone, and I stayed in this room. And brave as I am to sleep alone in a mansion by myself, I'm not completely stupid. I left the hallway light on. And there's just a little bit of a gap under the door. It's not huge, but it's enough to see the light shining in underneath that door. And as I'm laying here trying to sleep, facing the door, I can see somebody pacing back and forth outside that door. And upon asking, it's Wild Bill Jr., whatever you guys want to call him, but the middle William that's called Wild Bill. And he kind of just kept it up for a while, and finally I told him, I'm like, look, you either can come in. This was his room, and that's part of the reason I think that he was pacing back and forth outside the room. So I finally told him, look, it's your room. If you want to come in, come in. If you don't, that's fine, but you have to stop pacing outside my door because you're freaking me out. He never came into the room, but he did stop pacing, so I was good. The other experience that I had on second floor, I was actually in the room next to this one, which would be room 3, I believe. And I was in the mansion all by myself, and that was a really interesting night. When I got to the mansion, I let myself into the mansion. It was locked. There was nobody else inside. As I'm downstairs, before I ever come upstairs, I hear very distinct male humming down by the bathroom downstairs. And I hear a door up here on second floor. I come up and I get set up in room 3 to do a radio show, which is why I'm here. And as I'm sitting in that room doing my radio show, I can very clearly hear somebody talking in this room. A male having, I don't know if it was a conversation or just him talking. I couldn't hear it well enough to hear what was being said, but very clearly there was a man in this room and I could hear his voice. Interestingly enough, there was other noises that happened on and off throughout that radio show while I was here by myself. As I go to leave, you have to walk down this little hallway towards where the house staff's rooms were. There's 2 rooms through this doorway down here. And it's a little bit of an uncomfortable area for me. It has been since the very first time we came to the mansion. And so I always look at those doors as I'm going by, just because I want to keep my eye on them. I don't know how else to say it other than I like to keep my eye on them. Both doors were closed when I had come upstairs to do my radio show. As I was going back downstairs, the room on the right, the door was open. So, yeah, I've had a lot of experiences here on the 2nd floor. Nothing terrifying, but just a lot of
And it was
stuff.
weird how you mentioned like the humming, because that's almost kind of been a thing this weekend, is
Yeah.
whistling, humming.
And I believe it's Mr. Renwick, Senior. I always refer to him differently, and I'm sure you guys have caught on to that at this point. Mr. Renwick is the original William. Wild Bill is the middle William. And then Little Bill would be Wild Bill's son that died when he was 13. Going to the Phasma box?
Let's do Phasma Box.
Alrighty, let's get it started. Alright. Hello.
Yeah.
14 years ago. Did you hear that?
Yeah.
14 years ago would have been 2006. Yep. What happened 14 years ago?
Actually, I'm gonna grab a recorder, bring it closer.
That was really clear.
What was that?
Did you hear that?
Yeah.
It went, ooh.
And honestly, I couldn't tell if it was like a female voice, or part of me even thought like a cat.
There has been several things I have heard this weekend that I thought sounded like a cat.
Was there a cat here at one point?
I turned this off, by the way.
Damn. We got a recorder. In which case,
What
there
did
is
you
a
hear? Sorry.
no. It was just kind of a
But it was that tone. It was like, ooh.
yeah. All right, so most of the nights tonight we've been kind of playing Phasma Box for our ITC uses, and most of it is just a new toy, and we're kind of having a fun time
Right, yeah.
experimenting, playing with it. We're having a bit of an issue with the Bluetooth connection though, and we wanted to try something out called the Estes method, and this is basically a way of using ITC devices without our mental bias. So what's going to happen is I've got a pair of sound canceling headphones right here, and I'm going to hook up to a one of our more frequently used ITC applications. I'll probably end up going with Necrophonic just because that's the one that's a little bit easier on my ears. And basically what we're going to get from here is Kelly's going to be asking the questions, and the answers are, instead of coming from a box, are going to be coming from me. So are you ready? Let's do it.
Yeah. So same as before, guys, you know, we're just gonna thank you for that. That sounded like something on the 3rd floor. Is there somebody up on the 3rd floor right now? stairs? Who's on the stairs right now? There was another thump. That one wasn't quite as audible though. You guys are more than welcome to continue to make sounds. What I was saying is this is the same as before. You're welcome to talk through the device that Chris has going over there. We aren't going to be able to actually hear your responses right now, but Chris will be able to hear those responses.
Speak.
Yes, if you just speak to him, he'll be able to repeat what you're saying like he just did. Can you tell him what your name is, please? Another thump from out in the hallway.
On the left side, it's actually feeling really cold.
Is there someone moving close to Chris right now? Ooh, I feel that. It's like a coldness creeping into the room a little bit. You're welcome to come in. Who's here with us? Can you tell Chris your name? My name is Kelly. This is Chris. Can you introduce yourself? I keep feeling like there's somebody on the steps right now. Is there someone on the steps? Is there someone on the stairway going to the third floor right now?
I am.
Who are you, please? Can you say what your name is?
Abby.
Abby, are you on the stairs? I apologize because earlier this weekend I believe I was calling you Anna. And your name is Abby, isn't it? I'm so sorry. It's been a while since we talked. Abby, you're welcome to come closer and talk to us more. You okay? Are you okay?
Yeah.
You just sat up super quick.
No, sorry.
No, you're fine. I was just making sure you were okay. So I believe what he's trying to say there is he's actually seeing somebody out in the hallway right now as well. Who is it that Chris can see right now? Abby, is that still you in the hallway? The cannon just shut off.
That's disappointing.
I don't remember how much battery it said it had. Yeah, it just shut off, it just beeped. And it's not blinking red anymore. So, just letting you know.
Okay.
Something just beeped up there. But it shouldn't have been the camera because that's already off. What is that?
I don't know. You said the camera was already dead, right?
Well, I thought it was.
There's no sound life with it. It wasn't a REM pod, was it?
I've never heard that REM pod make that sound. Because it went beep beep, beep beep, beep beep. And then it did what you heard just as you took your headphones off.
Like 3 longer.
Yeah. But yeah, it made I heard the cannon make the noise and shut itself off and then stop blinking at the same time. So the cannon should have been off.
I don't think we have any other sound makers out there.
Other than the REM pod, and it wasn't what I'm used to for the REM pod.
The REM pod's only got one sound to it.
Is your blue device thingy out there? What noises is that?
That's ground floor.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know what that would have been then. What do you think? You want to go back at it, or do you want to call it a night?
I think I might call it night.
I think they're tired too. Everybody's ready to go to bed.
So, after Helen Renwick died, the building was acquired by Bill Renwick. And he didn't really end up moving back to Davenport or anything. He ended up selling it in 1907 to St. Catherine's Private School, which is actually the building that's behind me right now. And they used the Renwick Mansion as kind of part of their administration building. And this stayed with them until about the 1960s when St. Catherine's shut down. Now, it was sold off to a nursing home, and it stayed with them until about 1997 when it gained historical landmark status. Now, this didn't quite save it from the wrecking ball. A lot of work had to be done to kind of rebuild Renwick Mansion, and over the next decade it changed hands a few times until Dane and Sarah Moulton acquired it in 2016, where they have been kind of keeping this building alive ever since.